Welcome to the show, everybody. Joseph Robert Camo, the fantasy football counselor. We're ready to do a mock draft. This is pretty much this is actually the first mock draft of the season that I'm doing after the NFL draft. So everything is set. Everything is ready to go. The depth charts are settling in now. We're getting a good feel as to who the rookies are now and how they're going to be laid out on the depth chart and projected volume. So it's a good time to be doing mock drafts here, almost mid-May right now. And I'm excited. So we are drafting from the first position. We're going to do about 5 or 6 rounds only to give you a feel of the first couple rounds. I will be implementing the robust RB strategy, so I want to tell you that. Again, this is done on a website here, and I'm drafting first, and there's a bunch of randoms in here with me. So there may be some variance depending on what these real people do. So I am drafting with real people. This is not the computer. So someone may draft a kicker in the first round, which may alter the effects of the draft, but that's what it's all about, right? A real draft is going to have some variances as well. So I'm going to dive in here, guys. First overall pick, I'm going to be drafting. I'm going to tell you who I'm going to go with, and we're going to do 5 rounds after it. Now, if you want the full scope, my full mock drafts, everything you need, all the secrets, all the players I like in each round, get the 16-round draft solution. It is available. I laid out the first video in 16 rounds. I will be updating the notes on it. I will be adding mock drafts to it, but you can get in right now. The first ever only video training, all the outdoor players drafted in each round, robust RB strategy, sneaky 7, sleepers, dynasty, everything you need, guys, is in the 16-round draft solution. You can get it now. Link below, or head on over to thefantasyfootballcounselor.com. And listen, if you guys enter now, or if you guys get the 16-round draft solution now, you are entered to be, this is huge, in the Listener League. I'm going to be doing a draw in June for the Listener League. You guys have an opportunity for 12 people to win $500 to be in a league while I'm hosting it, okay? I'm hosting the Listeners League. To enter, all you got to do is get 16 rounds. You're automatically entered, okay? So that's huge. And finally, guys, head on over to manscaped.com. Use promo code SHOWERLION. You're going to absolutely love their trimmer. The Lawnmower 4.0 just came out. It's a beast of a trimmer. You don't have to worry about the sensitive areas. You can trim, fit, and finish. And things are opening up around the world for most areas anyway. Not so much where I'm at, but that's besides the fact. But what you could do is, you guys, when you go on a date, you can make sure you're nice and groomed and fresh. So manscaped.com, use promo code SHOWERLION. Everybody, you guys are going to be very, very happy with that, I assure you. All right, so we got about a minute to start here, and a couple rules here. Make sure that you guys do go robust RB this year, because it is a scarce position. I'm telling you, like, so many people have been grinding on me. These mainstream conscientious have been saying, "Oh no, Joe, you can't go robust RB. You got to load up on those wide receivers. It works. I do well every year." Now you don't. You drafted Michael Thomas in the first round last year. That's not doing really well. So it's very important, guys, to go robust RB, because it's a scarce position, and there's so many committees happening right now that the volume is going to be very minimal for some of these running backs. So make sure you guys go robust RB and get those running backs early, okay? And you're going to see it right now. We got 15 seconds till we start here, about 15 seconds. So you're going to see a lot of these running backs coming off the board. And I don't know what these guys are going to do. We got a full room, 12 people. I believe it's 1 point PPR. Either way, you should always be drafting for the best players. PPR, don't worry about it. Let's go robust RB. Here we go. First overall, the draft is opening here. All right, here we go. Okay, so here we go. So the draft room is opening. Let me just move this over here so you guys can see the screen. Okay, hopefully you guys can see the screen. All right, so let's take a look at this. I got 2 minutes, and the draft is starting in 2 minutes, actually. So we could talk a little bit more about strategy here before we get started here. So robust RB, guys. So what I do here is I take a look at the top running backs. Now, Christian McCaffrey's going to be coming off first here. You're going to see that happening a lot in drafts. Now, he's coming off injury. It's a new offense. I think there's safer options here, more upside with Saquon Barkley. You can see Derrick Henry slated here as number 3, Jonathan Taylor. And I remember loving Jonathan Taylor last year. The mainstream were all over Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and look where he's sitting. Right, where's Clyde Edwards-Helaire sitting? Let's filter by running backs, because that's where we're going to go on first. Running backs. Where's Clyde Edwards-Helaire is now 31st overall, and I don't know where he's sitting on running backs here. It's pretty low. And then you got wide receivers, actually, and Devontae Adams is number 1. Now, I'm already projecting a wide receiver decline with Devontae Adams, because he had a pinnacle year last year. This is before all this Aaron Rodgers news, and if Aaron Rodgers isn't on the team, you're definitely going to see a decline here. But I was calling it before all this Aaron Rodgers drama. So again, what the mainstream are doing, they're taking last year's top finishers, pasting them over, Justin Jefferson was a guy they called the waiver wire wonder. I was telling you in the 16-round draft session, get him in the 8th round. Volume opportunity, 150 freed up targets. Diggs is gone. He's good. He's really good. He makes amazing catches. He was great in college. It's a good opportunity. And what did people do? In 16 rounds, they had him on their team. What did the mainstream do? They had him ranked like 59th on the consensus rankings amongst wide receivers. And I'm telling you guys right now, there is a ton of depth at wide receiver, okay? Like there's a ton of sleepers here. I mean, I can go on here forever, but I'm telling you, there's a ton of sleepers here at wide receiver. Michael Pittman, Jamar Chase, look at the value you get him. Devontae Smith, who's going to be the wide receiver 1 potentially, even though I don't trust the Eagles that he's on. Mecole Hardman's pretty much a freebie this year. There is a ton of wide receiver sleepers that could really emerge and really crush it this year, okay? Again, let's take a quick look at the tight ends. Kelsey, Kittle, Waller. I may not invest early on a tight end. Hawkinson was a guy who's getting in the 10th round. Will I pay an early draft pick on him? The only reason I may consider it this year is because they really don't have any wide receivers. So I definitely see the opportunity here for Hawkinson to do well. I also like Kyle Pitts here for a ton of upside. They invested a first-round draft pick on him. I expect him getting some decent volume and some touchdowns this season, which is going to take away from, I think, Calvin Ridley, who the mainstream are all over this season, making him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, top 10, which is ludicrous ahead of Julio Jones, who had one off year. So again, lots to talk about. Let's go through the first 5 rounds. Here we go. All right, so I'm excited, guys. Fantasy football's here, by the way, beyond excited. Again, if you want all the answers, get the 16-round draft session. Here we go. So, ton of options here. I think Alvin Kamara's numbers were inflated last year with one game where he had 56.2 points in week 16, and without Breeze there, I suspect on that. You know, Taylor, I get a mid round. I'm just going to go Saquon Barkley based on ceiling, opportunity, upside, and they've got some wide receivers to distract the defenses. I think Saquon's got the highest ceiling. So I'm going to pull up the draft results here and pull up the draft board so you can actually see what is going on. So I'm going to be critiquing some of these picks, but it's going to be happening fast. Christian McCaffrey, understandable here at 2, but the problem with Christian McCaffrey, again, coming off injury, new offense, right? New quarterback. Dalvin Cook, Cinderella man. I mean, he's been in the Cinderella season the past couple years. He is due for an injury. I know you hate to hear it, but that's just the fact of the matter, right? Like, I just don't see him finishing another season. He hasn't actually finished a season. So, I don't know, man. I think his time is done, man. The volume they're giving him, I don't see him surviving, but we will see. Derrick Henry, I definitely like Derrick Henry this year, safe as usual, but when's his decline coming? I mean, he's Mr. Perfect all the time, right? I hope he doesn't get injured, but he is another animal. He's a beast. And I mentioned how much I love this guy as a character and for fantasy football, and the mainstream were sleeping on him a couple years ago, but I had him. We see Alvin Kamara come off the board here, so far it's been Saquon. I went with him. Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry, Alvin Kamara. Who I hope comes back to me, I really, really hope, is Najee Harris. So Najee Harris, according to these guys, is really low, according to this Yahoo app here. He is really low. Like you can see here, like I like him. It would be a miracle if Cam Akers fell. I love him. But if you go first, it's going to get slim and trim at running back very fast. As you can see here, I didn't predict this. And you're seeing exactly what I'm calling out. Running backs coming off the board, across the board here. Saquon Barkley, Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry, Alvin Kamara, Zeke Elliott, Jonathan Taylor, and Nick Chubb coming off the board here. Now, Nick Chubb, as you know, I'm not a fan. Kareem Hunt outscored him 2 years in a row in PPR, and he's going to be a thorn in the side of Nick Chubb. And I think Kareem Hunt could start on his own. They don't need Nick Chubb. Technically, he is a pure runner, not going to be involved as much in the passing game, but I mean, first round, way too early for me. A guy who got injured, couldn't finish the season last year, and has got Kareem Hunt. No, thank you. Okay, so then they went Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs at 10, which I actually like the ceiling of Diggs. I think he only gets better this year with Josh Allen, barring any type of injury. I mean, I like him. Aaron Jones coming off the board, contract hangover there. He came off here at 11. Listen, A.J. Dillon's going to get implemented a little bit more. If you ask me, I don't think they even needed Aaron Jones this year. I think they could have done it with Dillon and the weapons they have there. I definitely see why he's there, but again, Aaron Jones is not a guy I like on a throw-first team, and then suspect situation there with Aaron Rodgers, and we're going to have to see what happens there. Now, as you can see, this is a real draft. We're going to do 5 rounds here, real mock draft, that is. So there is real people in the room taking their time with their picks. And there he is, Najee Harris, coming off late first round. You're going to start seeing that, and I warn people that, maybe it's my post that I did that got tens of thousands of views or me talking about him, but I'm telling you, Najee Harris is prime for a huge opportunity. And that's where I don't really mind going late first round. If I go late first round, that's kind of ideal for me, simply for the fact that I could probably snag up Cam Akers and Najee Harris there. And it's going to be very slim for me, even though there goes Travis Etienne there. Coming off Najee and Travis, this guy going with 2 rookie running backs. Travis Etienne's okay. I think James Robinson, if he doesn't get traded, is going to be a thorn on the side of Travis. I mean, well, Travis is a thorn on James Robinson, but it's a bit of a mess there. And again, another situation I don't like. But what I was saying is, come back to me at Saquon. It's going to be slim and trim at running back, which, again, I would like to have gone Cam Akers and Najee here, but I absolutely love Najee. I mean, if you look at what Le'Veon Bell did, now you could say their O-line isn't as good and all that, but they've made improvements and they're going to improve, and Big Ben knows how to run that offense. But I love Najee Harris. There's no one else there. James Conner shipped off. They wanted to. The Steelers genuinely wanted to make James Conner their guy. He just couldn't stay on the field. That's just the bottom line. But, we've seen guys like D'Angelo Williams years ago, James Conner, Le'Veon Bell thrive there. I'm excited about Najee. So Najee rounds up the first round. Starting off round 2, Travis Etienne, a little early for him, in my opinion, but I definitely see the upside. I like Javonte a little bit more in Denver, so keep your eye out for him. So Travis Etienne, Davante Adams coming off round 2. Second pick, I see his ADP again slightly slipping a little bit, maybe with all the Aaron Rodgers debacle going on. Travis Kelce, always consistent. I just don't like to grab a tight end here in the second round. Austin Eckler, very early, if you ask me, for a guy that, was a backup his whole life to Melvin Gordon, who sucks, who's going to probably be a backup here this year again, who's going to lose his job to the rookie. But we'll see. Like I said, I like Williams. So we're going to have to see here. Austin Eckler, I mean, 4th pick here, second round, too early for me. I don't like him. Cam Akers, I like that. Antonio Gibson, the offense, I'm still suspect on that offense. We'll have to see. Joe Mixon, I have no faith in that guy at all. DeAndre Hopkins coming off. DeAndre Swift, I like the ceiling of Swift, although, again, Detroit with running backs, not really my favorite. DK Metcalf, and then we're coming up on A.J. Brown, then we're up here on the 24th pick. So I'm going to pull up here the running backs. I got 25 seconds here to see who's the best available. And again, you can see it's very slim and trim here at the running back position, as you can see. So again, it sucks, but I'm almost tempted to go. Got 13 seconds here. I'm talking. I have to go like a David Montgomery, or someone's going to get the volume. Okay, let's go Clyde Edwards-Helaire here. I'm going to take a quick glance at wide receivers and see what's available. I like these wide receivers, but I think, Ridley's going to have some company there. Michael Thomas. Julio Jones, I think, bounces back. I could go him. But if I go running back, let's stick with that robust RB strategy. Miles Sanders has some company there with Kerryon. Dobbins is competing with Lamar Jackson. Chris Carson can't stay on the field. David Montgomery has some competition. But I'm just going to go either David, or let's just go David Montgomery, because I need as close as I can to a workhorse running back. So I'm going to go with him. I'm doing this quick off the fly. But again, I've got 3 running backs. I feel pretty good. I'm also going to grab a rookie running back later on, which I'll talk about. And I could have easily went wide receiver, but again, there's a ton of depth at wide receiver. Julio Jones would not have been a bad pick here. I see him bouncing back this year, but again, there is talk about him trading, so I'm a little bit leery on, hesitant on grabbing him, okay? So recap round 2, Travis Etienne, a little early, Davante Adams, Kelce, Austin Eckler, Cam Akers. For all those people listening in the car, this is for you. I'm reading it out. And Antonio Gibson, Joe Mixon, DeAndre Hopkins, Swift, Metcalf, A.J. Brown, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and I went Montgomery. So again, loading up on those running backs early, not the ideal running backs that I want. I would have liked myself a Cam Akers and a Najee here. That would have been like the perfect scenario, but life isn't like that, But then we've got Justin Jefferson here, Calvin Ridley. So starting off the third round here, David Montgomery, Justin Jefferson, Calvin Ridley. And again, you can see here, running backs are slim. Jacobs could be good as well, but he hates your fantasy team. He's got Drake there. A lot of people talk about Mike Davis. I definitely see the upside a little bit based on the opportunity, but I like Javian Hawkins later as an undrafted free agent running back. They need a guy to step up there. I'm not sure if Hawkins is going to be it, but Mike Davis I don't think is the long-term solution, a guy that was back up to CMC last year. Now, if you went Travis Etienne early, I wouldn't mind Javonte Williams in Denver with Lindsey being gone and Melvin Gordon not being that good. There's an opportunity for him, and here's another sleeper for you, Michael Carter Jr. later on. So again, you can see how much value you get here for some of these rookies, but overall, you can see most of the running backs coming off very early. So starting off the third round, again, David Montgomery, Justin Jefferson, Calvin Ridley, J.K. Dobbins, George Kittle, a little early for me again yet for tight end. Miles Sanders, obviously you can see this guy here going Zeke, Joe Mixon, and Miles Sanders implementing that robust RB strategy. And we see a couple other people doing it with the guy here that went at fourth and went Derrick Henry, DeAndre Swift coming back. Third round, scooped up J.K. Dobbins, okay? So George Kittle came off, and then we got Miles Sanders mid third round, Terry McLaurin, Allen Robinson, Chris Carson, and Pat Mahomes coming off here in the third round, which is where he is probably going to be coming off typically. Now, as you can see what this guy has done here, he's got a lot of question marks here at running back, some uncertainty. I don't really trust Eckler and Carson, but this is what this guy has chosen to do. I like those workhorse running backs that get a ton of volume and are pretty much proven. But as you can see, bam, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 picks gone. Running backs, then 2 wide receivers and 2 running backs again in the first round. Running backs, you can see, I want you guys to notice here, in the first 3 rounds, running backs are highlighted in red. There's a lot of red on the screen. And then maybe that's my preaching over the years and people listening, but that's good. You want to load up on those running backs. You want to be top heavy on those running backs because you're going to see a lot of depth at wide receiver later, okay? Again, we got Chris Carson here, Pat Mahomes, Keenan Allen, which I actually like. I'm a real big advocate of Herbert. I think he's the real deal. I really like that guy. I think he's really good. I think he's a special quarterback, so Keenan Allen's going to be good. And there's some sleeper wide receivers, which I talk about. There's one of them on the Chargers I really like, which I talk about in the 16 rounds. I can't reveal all my secrets here, guys. Michael Thomas, I just gave you a hint. You guys should figure it out. Michael Thomas here at the end of the third round. Again, without Breeze, there's always a suspect situation there. It's hard to trust Thomas, although I definitely see a ceiling. We'll have to see what happens there, depending on who throws the ball at the beginning of the year. Fourth round, Mike Evans, Julio Jones. I mean, amazing value for Julio Jones. Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin, remember last year, he was a second-round pick across the board. I said, stay away from Godwin. He was coming off a big 2019. I said, 2020, be careful. And sure enough, he busted, and Evans beat him. Evans was coming off third. Godwin was coming off second. I said, stay away from both. They won't finish top 10. Neither one of them did finish top 10. Now people are doing the same thing now with Calvin Ridley coming off very early ahead of Julio. Again, with Pitts there, it's going to be spread around a lot. And which is really weird here is, check this out. If you look at quarterbacks, look at the value here you're getting from Matt Ryan. I mean, this is insane. I mean, this is the guy throwing to amazing receivers and amazing receiving core, coming off a low year last year and still did okay. So, fourth round, let's go through this. Mike Evans, Julio Jones, Chris Godwin, CeeDee Lamb, Josh Jacobs, Josh Allen, Amari Cooper. I should be planning my attack here, so I will be looking at the best possible wide receiver here, and I'm going to show you a quick thing here I want you to see with quarterbacks, okay? I may actually scoop up Herbert in the 5th because he's not probably coming around, and I'll show you that in a second here. So let's pull up wide receivers here. Again, if Deontay Johnson falls, I'm also tempted to take him. I do like Chark there with Trevor Lawrence. I could go back-to-back wide receivers here, which is pretty tempting. Cooper Kupp should be safe and solid. Lockett pretty safe as well. Golladay, it depends on dimes. I don't know if I trust Daniel Jones too much. So take a look at these draft results. We see Thielen come off the board here near the end of the 4th round, which I absolutely like. I like his value over Jefferson's. When I'm loading up a running back, I can still get Thielen, who technically could be the wide receiver 1. So sometimes, guys, you look what I'm doing, but listen to what I'm saying. There's a lot of valuable golden nuggets in regards to what I'm saying, and there's a lot of valuable information here, okay? Recapping the 4th round, we're coming up. Mike Evans, Julio Jones, Chris Godwin, CeeDee Lamb, Josh Jacobs, Josh Allen, Amari Cooper, Adam Thielen, Darren Waller, Myles Gaskin. Don't trust those guys, the Dolphins. Robert Woods. So again, I don't mind here going Deontay, who was a target leader last year on a offense where Big Ben throws a lot. And I'm also tempted to go DJ Chark here. It's coming back to back, but I'm really high on a guy like Justin Herbert here, or Dak Prescott. All great options. Unlikely they're going to come back here to me, so I'm going to go ahead and secure my ace quarterback here. We had a ton of depth. We got Ryan Tannehill, Matt Ryan, Carson Wentz, who I think is going to be a good backup this year with upside. Trevor Lawrence is a sleeper as well, but I'm going to go ahead and draft Justin Herbert here, and then I can load up on wide receivers coming back. So that's it, guys. Those are the first 5 rounds. A ton of information here for you guys. You want to secure the robust RB strategy. This is a perfect example. This was not predetermined. I didn't tell these guys to jump on here on this mock draft. These are real people doing a mock draft. As you could see, the robust RBs coming off early. I mean, I've been doing this in simulated mock drafts without real people in it as well, based on ADP, and running backs are coming off very early. So it's imperative that you guys load up on running backs, okay? So when this round 5 is done, I will recap round 5, and then we will call it quits. Guys, please leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and you appreciate the value. Leave a thumbs up, comment below, let me know what you guys think of the first 5 rounds, what you guys are doing, strategies. Let's talk, let's mastermind here, and get the 16-round draft solution for all the tips, secrets, and all the optimal players to draft in each round. You'll absolutely love it, guys. Smash the thumbs up, comment below. Let's make it, again, super interactive, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, you're missing out. It's the #1 fantasy football podcast, thinking outside the box. Because, again, if you're new to the channel, a lot of the mainstream will cookie cut and tell you, hey, these are the guys last year, draft them again in that order. You got to think outside the box. You got to start, sometimes you may have to reach on a player if you think that you might not get him coming back the other round. Now, as you can see here, if I didn't go, I'm a big Herbert fan this year, and I'm always going to back up my quarterback. That's another rule. If I didn't get Herbert here, I might not get him coming back. If this guy right here, Marcellus, didn't get Najee Harris at number 12, Najee Harris ain't coming back, okay? So if there's a player you're set on, you got to do enough mock drafts to really get a feel and anticipate, right? That's a big strategy I talk about in the 16-round draft solution is you got to anticipate when players are coming off so that you are better capable of getting that player so that you don't feel like you got sniped at that player you really wanted, okay? So we're going to recap this right now. We're going to finish it up. We've got 3 more picks left here in the 5th round, and we're going to wrap it up. Justin Herbert, Chase Edmonds, a little early for him. I'm not sold on Edmonds. Kareem Hunt, pretty decent value considering he outscored Nick Chubb 2 years in a row, PPR. Lamar Jackson, kind of where he belongs in the 5th round, where quarterbacks should be drafted. Last year, people told you 2nd round, Lamar Jackson, what a waste. Melvin Gordon, I think he's going to lose his job midseason. DJ Moore, TJ Hawkinson, I think he's going to get some targets and some work this year, as long as he stays healthy. Tyler Lockett, Mike Davis, Cooper Kupp, Kyler Murray, and Mark Andrews, okay? So that is your 5th round. That's it, guys. Subscribe, thumbs up, comment, and get the 16-round draft solution. And actually, guys, head on over to manscaped.com. Use promo code SHOWERLINE. You're going to save 20% on your purchase. Go groom. Take care of yourself. Stay healthy. And subscribe. I'm out, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm super pumped. Fantasy football is here. And I love you. I appreciate you. Counselor is out. Talk soon.